What's going on, y'all? Kalin here with Kalin Writes. Your boy Fetty Wap is charged with intent to traffic drugs. And I'm just like, where did this come from? I'm reading a CNN report that says rapper Fetty Wap has pleaded guilty in federal court to conspiracy to possess and distribute 500 grams or more of cocaine. That's according to the prosecutor's office. No sentencing date has been set yet. So you guys know Fetty Wap. Back in 2015, he had Trap Queen, he had My Way, he made Wake Up. He had the whole crowd everywhere he was. The crowd was just going crazy. He had the entire world jumping his music. I don't know where you came up with them hits, but the man was a god. This is just real disheartening. I don't know like what's going on. He was originally indicted and arrested in October along with 5 others on a drug trafficking conspiracy charge and was released on $500,000 bail, which was revoked earlier this month after he made a threat to kill someone while holding a gun on a FaceTime call. The charge he pleaded to carries a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years in prison, but has a sentencing range of between 87 and 108 months, depending on a variety of factors. So let's see, 87, 7 years-ish, and 108 months would be closer to like 9. The guy was on the way to Rolling Loud Festival in Long Island, New York, and got caught with like 1.5 million in cash, cocaine, heroin, fentanyl. One of the bail conditions was that the rapper must not possess a firearm, destructive device, or other weapon. And he violated all of that. So this is crazy to hear, man. Like Fetty Wap was like that guy. Like everybody was bouncing to his music. I remember that specifically. And old boy is a Gemini, man. Like that's, man, like he was born like 8 days before me. Like 5 years later. But still, like, you know, I get that whole Gemini energy. You know, you got to be doing it. You got to be out here. Wiki says he rose to prominence after his debut single Trap Queen, which reached number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100 in May 2015. Number 2? Like, you know how hard it is to reach top of the Billboard charts? Like, it's ridiculous. He's born in Paterson, New Jersey. I mean, a lot of people talked about his eye, but he was born with glaucoma in both eyes and revealed in 2015 that doctors were unable to save his left eye and instead fitted him with the ocular prosthesis. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, you keep hearing all these stories about like these rappers and these artists that, you know, either getting in trouble with the law, they're selling drugs, they're killing people. You look at the shooting with Quando Rondo that he was involved in the other day, and you know, he lost his homeboy Lil Pab, and it's just like, man, this stuff is just, it's wild. There's a string of death and violence and legal trouble that just seems to be coming with a lot of these artists. Now, we could talk about the generational curses of slavery, the abuse that so many people receive from the governing system here, Western imperialism, and Western notions of what it means to function in society. We could talk about culture. We could talk about upbringing, social economic status. We could talk about all these things, but the bottom line is, if you got 2 hits that reach the top of the charts in this country, 7 years later, you should not be getting indicted for drug trafficking charges. Like they say, old boy was using the United States postal system to traffic drugs. Like, you never know what predicament somebody is in. You never know what they're going through. It's just, especially in today's world where, you know, financial stability is uncertain, but you gotta think, You got to ask the question, and this is unfortunate. Boyce Watkins talks a lot about this, but the inability of some of these artists to handle their money properly is an issue, particularly in the Black community. We would do better to take the time to secure our wealth and our resources while we're at the top of our game, because it don't last forever. You're hot 1 minute, you'll make a name for yourself, people will remember you, but you're not going to be that person forever. At least for most people. Some people do have longevity in the game, but you can't do it forever, especially if it's sports, so you got to make that money and tuck it, put it away, grow it. And maybe it's easier said than done, but I don't really think so. I just think people like to splurge. They're invested in living a life that they can't sustain. And they should be invested in living a life that they can sustain, which means properly securing your money in ventures that will continue to grow and expand your net worth. There's no reason that an artist as hot as Fetty Wap was to be trafficking drugs. It's just crazy. A lot of people are gonna say, you don't know that man, you don't know his past, you don't know what he got going on in his life, and that's cool. Like, I fully understand that. You can't ever really know unless you walk in somebody's shoes. Give them props, because that's bold, man. You wouldn't catch me out there trafficking drugs like that. Like, you gotta be some kind of bold, man. Like, especially when it's a federal case, you got the FBI boys coming down on you. It's crazy, man. It's wild. But anyway, we're gonna see how this case unfolds. It's not looking good right now, but you never know what could happen. You get a good lawyer, you can shake some things up and maybe get your time reduced or whatever. But the thing is this though, Fetty Wap, he's not a killer. This guy, as far as I know, he's not out there gunning people down. Like, I don't know what business he's in with people. I've never heard anything prior to this with him. Maybe he did get in trouble with the law prior to this. Like, I'd have to research that, and I'm not gonna do that right now.
All right, I lied. I'm gonna do this right now.
Says, over the years, Fetty Wap has been on the receiving end of multiple lawsuits for instances including copyright infringement, defamation, property damage, and assault. At 1:20 a.m. on November 2nd, 2017, he was arrested after being pulled over on a Brooklyn highway. He was charged with drunk driving, reckless endangerment, aggravated unlicensed operation of a motor vehicle, which I don't understand how that's different from just unlicensed operation of a motor vehicle, but I'm not a lawyer. Illegally changing lanes and drag racing. So I don't know. Looks like the guy may have had some run-ins with the law, but Fetty Wap, man, get the help you need, bro, and come up out this situation, strong, because this ain't fun. Nobody wants to be locked away in a prison for 7 to 9 years of their life. And you're a young guy, man. Like, you're younger than me. You 6 years younger than me. You so what, 30, 31, something like that? So it's wild. Anyway, deuces. Kalin writes, out.